He's a person of enormous energy who doesn't particularly respond well to leisure and likes to be engaged with issues in the world, and that's led to an amazing list of accomplishments.
He's got a tremendously active mind and suffers from a rarely diagnosed form of social phobia, which is called workaholism.
It was a combination, I suppose, of his obvious abilities, his intellect, his ability to engage people and to communicate with them.
October 1929, the beginning of a decade of hard times and sacrifice known as the Great Depression, but also the beginning of a Canadian who would excel internationally in health and business, a world-class citizen, innovator, diplomat, and builder.
I think from a young age we had a sense that our father, or my father, was doing something which was a little bit off the beaten track as far as the medical profession was concerned. He wasn't simply a practitioner, but he was, following through on a vision.
That vision would become a revolutionary concept that teaching institutions the world over would emulate, as in 1965, John Evans founded the Faculty of Medicine at McMaster University at the incredibly young age of 35.
I guess in one other area, it was also at McMaster, the development of clinical epidemiology, trying to foster evidence-based medicine that David Sackett, who was one of the leaders at McMaster, introduced. And that has spread from McMaster now really around the world as a very important discipline. And so, again, it was the privilege of being associated with a very vibrant young group of people who didn't know that you couldn't achieve lots of things because they had the motto of which I'm sure you're familiar with, of the medical school, the melius est urinam fecere quam amovera, which means it's more fun to make a mess than clean one up. And so these people went out quite boldly in different areas, and none of us knew exactly what would happen, but the results, I think, were very gratifying.
Gratifying indeed, as untold millions throughout the world have benefited from this Canadian innovation termed patient-focused education. And for John Evans, opportunities arose, bringing his talents to a variety of international initiatives.
He's had such a diversified career and has had so much impact, not just on medicine, but well beyond it in so many aspects of Canadian society and even beyond Canada.
He was the president of the Rockefeller Foundation. Really a remarkable thing for a Canadian to be head of that most American of organizations, the Rockefeller Foundation. Then, as you know, he was also a senior officer in the World Bank, and I think on behalf of the World Bank, he traveled to various countries in the world to assess their healthcare needs, and I think the validity of their applications to the World Bank for help in their countries. So in two ways, through the Rockefeller Foundation and the World Bank, he was, we'll say, a world citizen or a world statesman in medical and financial affairs.
Chairman and director of several private sector corporations, honorary fellowships, and degrees from various institutions, the list is seemingly endless. Founding director of Population Health and Nutrition, World Bank, a dabble in politics, and companion, Order of Canada.
Well, I've always had great difficulty holding on to a job. They find out about you in about 3 to 4 years.
And lover of the practical joke.
There was a social reporter for the Globe and Mail by the name of Zena Cherry. I think she's passed away, but in the 60s and 70s she used to write a social column on what the latest party was. And I think my father ran into her at some gathering, and she started asking him some questions, and she said, well, what do you do? And he said, well, I'm a veterinary psychiatrist. And she swallowed this hook, line, and sinker And the column the next Monday in the Globe and Mail said, well, I met this fellow John Evans, who's a veterinary psychiatrist, and absolutely no idea that she had had the wool pulled over her eyes.
Today, John Evans adds inductee, Canadian Medical Hall of Fame to his growing list of accomplishments.
This is a very nice thing to make me feel that at least in some way I have a linkage with the development of medicine in Canada.